So you can use my analysis in any theme question except from, and I place this emphasis here, except from the supernatural, because this analysis that I'm about to show you, the quotation analysis I'm about to go through, has nothing to do with supernatural. So don't write it down if you get a question on this in your exam. So here is the quotation analysis number 1. So in Act 4 scene 2, sorry, his spouse says wisdom to leave his wife, his babes, his mansion and his titles. And then you can see here I've included the analysis. So if you can't quite see what that says, I will just go over it. It says confused and angry through the so I will go over some quotation analysis myself. So here we have he loves us not, he lacks the natural touch for the poor and will fight her young ones against the nest, against the owl. Here is where I said in your vocabulary list you should use the imagery ornithological imagery, which is form of imagery referring to birds. And then you could also mention how the image of the poor hen suggests that Macduff's wife or spouse is Macduff's wife is in a feeble state because she has been stripped of the protection from her husband. Then you could also link that to how she feels betrayed as a result of this lack of protection she has gotten, and as a result of Macduff's flee. Then you could say. Then you could also say the word owl shows Macbeth is the threat and his rule has caused Lady Macduff to be in this vulnerable state. Okay, so here is some more analysis for you on Macduff. And then this is specifically in the scene where Macduff is communicating with Malcolm. Now, a natural word you could use to describe this scene is, you can refer to it as this kind of static scene. So static scene is when two characters in on stage are just speaking to each other, and is the same in this case where Malcolm is testing Macduff's loyalty here. So here's the analysis. Okay, so here are the 3 quotes I've got down here. Hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men, bestride our fallen birthdom. Bleed, bleed, poor country. I think that specifically this second one would be your main quotation. So specifically, I'd say you should include this analysis here, and the analysis which I wrote out here is he's urgent and desperate, pleading for help. You could say the continuous repetition of the word bleed just shows that it's the extent to which Scotland is in this kind of chaotic state. And then I went on to talk about how Malcolm is testing Macduff, and then he refers to him as a child of integrity. And obviously I've wrote out all the analysis here. You can just copy this into your notes, and I will show you a good paragraph right about now. Okay, so here is the paragraph which I wrote just now. This is the paragraph for Lady Macduff. So this is the paragraph for Lady Macduff, and here I've talked about how, to a certain extent, Macduff can be seen as a selfish figure. So here I've wrote about him being selfish, and you could just take a quick read of it, and I would say that you can use it in your exam, because it won't be plagiarism or anything. Okay, it would be plagiarism, but just take all the ideas from here, and then you can use these in your exam. So just take all the ideas and you can use it in your exam. So this is the second part of the paragraph. One second, let me just rip this out. This is the second part of the paragraph here. So this makes up the full entire paragraph. This is all just on Lady Macduff. This full paragraph is on Lady Macduff, but it links to Macduff. So it links to Macduff. And then I kind of would say you should create a two-sided argument here. So after you just one second, let me drop that so it's more clear. So after you've taken notes off of this paragraph here, I would say that you should write up another paragraph. So this is the second paragraph on Macduff and Malcolm. So write up another paragraph on Macduff and Malcolm, and you could talk about how Macduff says that bleed poor country, etc, etc. So bleed poor country, and then here you could say that he is selfless. He cares about his people, he cares about his country. So now I would say to you, on your topic sentence, you should say Macduff is a complex character. Sorry, my pen's a bit, it's not behaving. Macduff is a complex character. And then you could say that on the one hand, we can say that he is selfish. So we can say on the one hand he is selfish, and that will be this paragraph here, this one in yellow, this big chunky paragraph here. I've done the hard paragraph for you, so I'll make your life a bit easier. You could say in this part he is selfish, where he leaves his family and does this kind of abrupt abandonment. And then you could say that on this side here, on the other side of the coin, he is selfless. Now here in blue, I've just wrote out the first part of the paragraph. Ignore the part where it talks about Lady Macduff. Here, all of this here. 1 second, I've covered it now. Here, however, Shakespeare clearly demonstrates how Macduff's selfless patriotism contrasts to Macbeth's selfish and tyrannical nature. You could use this as your starting sentence for paragraph number 2, when you're speaking about Macduff and Malcolm's static scene, where they talk amongst each other about Scotland's chaotic state. So you can create a two-sided sort of analysis on this specific scene. Okay, so I hope this was